India defies global poverty trends amid World Bank's revised estimates. What does this mean? India has emerged as a statistical outlier in a positive direction as the World Bank revised global poverty estimates, raising the international poverty line from $2.15 to $3 per day based on 2021 purchasing power parity. While the change led to a global increase in the count of extreme poverty by 125 million, India not only withstood the raised threshold but also demonstrated a massive reduction in poverty, as per a central government fact sheet analysis. This was done using more refined data and updated survey methods. The new poverty line would have increased the count of global extreme poverty by 226 million people. But, due to India's data revision, the net global increase was only 125 million. According to World Bank data, over the decade from 201,112 to 202,223, India has lifted 171 million people out of extreme poverty under $2.15 per day. The overall poverty rate dropped from 16.2% to 2.3%, or 5.3%, when using the updated global benchmark $3 per day while accounting for purchasing power parity PPP adjustments. The data further showed reduction in rural poverty down to 2.8% and urban to only 1.1%, with widening access to food security schemes playing a key role. Challenges, however, remain in the form of urban youth unemployment and persistent wage inequality. The global poverty measures produced by the World Bank use PPP to account for differences in price levels across the world. These are periodically revised in light of new data on relative living costs. The World Bank said most of this upward revision is explained by revisions in the underlying national poverty lines rather than a change in prices. Here is what the new international poverty line IPL reflects. This adjustment was expected to sharply increase the global count of those living in extreme poverty, which was visible on poverty figures, estimated at 226 million people. According to the central government's fact sheet analysis, India's newly revised poverty data significantly softened the blow, reducing the count by 125 million. These figures offset more than half the global increase. India's updated consumption data significantly influenced the World Bank's global benchmark. The standout performance is largely attributed to improvements in data collection and measurement methods, which captured more actual spending, leading to a more realistic poverty line and a lower poverty rate despite the increase in threshold. The country's latest Household Consumption Expenditure Survey (HCES) adopted the modified mixed recall period (MMRP) method, replacing the outdated uniform reference period. This change provided a more accurate picture of household consumption, more effectively capturing actual spending. As a result, India's poverty rate in 202,223 stood at just 5.25% under the new $3 poverty line, and 2.35% under the older $2.15 line, a dramatic decline from earlier decades. In 201,112, applying MMRP reduced India's poverty rate from 22.9% to 16.22%, even under the older $2.15 poverty line. In 202,223, poverty under the new $3 line stood at 5.25%, while under the older $2.15 line it dropped further to 2.35%. The Household Consumption Expenditure Survey (HCES) is designed to collect information on consumption and expenditure of the households on goods and services. Here are the key highlights of the HCES for 2023-24. These findings complement the World Bank's revised figures, reinforcing the conclusion that poverty in India has reduced not just statistically, but through tangible improvements in household living standards and incomes. Swipe left for next video. India's poverty decline is a story of technical refinement meeting policy results. In the face of a raised poverty benchmark, the country showed that more honest data, not diluted standards, can reveal real progress. As the global community recalibrates poverty goals, India's example sets a precedent. Evidence-based governance, sustained reforms, and methodological integrity can together deliver transformational outcomes. Latest blogs.